This is Decoy Voice. I like his commentary and okay, my wife doesn't like the way he does his voice, but I gotta say, I like his commentary. I like the way he breaks everything down and tries to do it in a humorous spin, especially when you literally see everything falling apart around you. But yeah, this is Decoy Voice.
May Day activists actually think chaining yourselves together can get you higher wages. And sadly, that wasn't even the most idiotic aspect about it, as the May Day marches featured ants and an inflatable Trump, combined with some anti-ICE messaging. With teachers refusing to work on a Friday so they can line dance and demand nonsense.
We're out here on International Workers' Day, marching alongside thousands of teachers and public school workers.
That's the funny part. They're teachers, public school workers, proof that the system is broken. Absolute proof that the system is broken are educators, are those who are supposed to be teaching the next generations are the ones that are mentally rotten, mentally like deficient. Like, I know I'm an absolute retard, but the problem is I at least understand that people have different, focuses in life. They all have different focuses in life, but they clearly have no concept, like no rational understanding to get like, oh, you know what? They probably think differently than I do. They just can't grasp that.
Demanding that North Carolina pay up, fund our schools, pay our teachers what they need to make, and stop the cuts to public education.
Yo, Jay.
Nothing says you deserve more money than teachers taking a random weekday off to block the streets while nearly half of their students are not proficient in reading or math. So of course they're for socialism.
What would you say to those families who had to make last-minute adjustments to get their kids taken care of on this day?
I understand and I appreciate that it can be somewhat off-putting. However, I do know that if their students are in public education, that I would hope that they understand that we are doing it for their children.
So, like, just form a sentence, woman. Form a sentence.
We're not doing our government jobs that the taxpayers fund, so while we're out here dancing, we expect the tax-paying parents, again, to pick up our slack. As these schools aren't about educating the students anymore, they're about validating the teachers' activism and emotions. Now over in New York City, May Day is about getting ICE out, but also eating the rich.
What do we want? Keep the rich! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Keep the rich! When do we want it? Now!
As this march will somehow stop the nukes. And recording social media slop inside some random store.
Once and for all, making a statement. So, party's over. Party's over, guys.
They're just being nuisance. Oh my gosh. They're just being a nuisance. Swapped? I haven't seen Swapped. I know it's on Netflix, but I haven't seen it. These people are an absolute nuisance. I know both sides literally do the same annoying stuff, going into places, being obnoxious to everyone around. But it's just like, you have to have some kind of, I am not the main character. This is the problem. Like I was talking about this with my family earlier today. One of the biggest issues is it used to be, well, who was the main character? The one on the big screen, the one you could idolize, the one you could see motivating you to be someone better than who you were. The problem is, everyone now has the camera in their pocket. Everyone now records themselves. That's basically what I'm doing right now, putting themselves online, being the main character of the story. But guess what? I'm not the main character. Nobody's the main character unless you're the one leading something. But the problem is, everyone just sees themselves like, that's why you get in like workplaces, those that will whine and complain when their management is instructing them what to do because, oh my gosh, I deserve more. But no, you don't deserve any more than what your contract tells you deserve. Like, that's the thing. That's how I've always seen it. You always sign your life away to a company when you've signed the contract to work for them for X amount of hours between this time and this time. If you go past this time, you get paid double or a time and a half because they've broken their contract with you, and now they need to pay you like your dues. That's how I've always seen it. That's how I've always worked jobs where I end up getting paid time and a half because I'm willing to work past, because you know what? They're breaking the contract with me, telling me to work overtime, so I get paid more for it. That's just how I've always viewed it, because my life is signed away to the company while I've, signed my name and agreed to something. It's But everyone has the same kind of main character syndrome now, because everyone believes themselves to be the main character.
Do any of these dweebs actually think they're helping? As never before in recorded history has a dictator been defeated by some idiot in a mall with a megaphone, as New York City has really just become an adult daycare for imbeciles, as they chain themselves to the stock exchange. But the NYPD quickly yanked their chain, both figuratively and literally.
We're being arrested for shutting down Wall Street. We won't stand for billionaires' greed. They're ruining our country.
Fighting against billionaires. They're taking over our government. They're hoarding wealth, and we cannot afford to live in this country anymore. We're putting our bodies on the line.
No, we can't afford to live in this country because we're starting to live in a crime-riddled country. It's like those people who encourage crime, like, again, people will encourage crime because, oh, it's so expensive, I can't afford it, I might as well steal it. Well, guess what? You're stealing it, passes it on to the next person. I have to pay so much more in taxes. Like, I was going into CVS earlier today. It's like a pharmacy store. Like, they sell like a bunch of everything. A drugstore sells a bunch of everything. Everything, almost everything was behind a freaking gate. Every single thing. And it's like, why? Well, every day, every time I go back there, and I go like once a month, maybe every 3 months, there's like another gate put onto another part. Why? Because society has dropped down. It's a low trust society. Like, we used to be in a more higher trust society because, first of all, people used to bully, for lack of a better word. Like, you would make fun of someone for doing something stupid. Like, there was that bully culture where it's like you made fun of someone when, oh, they're gay, that kind of thing. You would tease them for things, like more teasing than I'm against bullying, but like teasing where you encourage people. Like, that's why guys will never talk about like, their perversions, because it's teased out of them at a young age. Girls, apparently it's encouraged online because for them it's like, yes, queen, because they start talking about those things. You have to have that kind of teasing culture where you tease those things out of people. And not only that, is like back in the day, sure, you had a psychopath here and there, but most people were far more understanding and is moralistic a word? Is moralistic a word? But it were like they understood morals, they understood values that they were not willing to do to someone else what they were willing to do themselves. Like that's just how it was. It was so freaking crazy that the more things change, the more they say the same. Like we're regressing. People are starting to go back to a low trust society that, guess what? One of two things will either happen. We will end up in like the US. We will either end up in a security state? No, not a sanctuary state. What is it where you have like no free will? Everything is monitored. You don't have the ability to speak. You don't have the ability, like that's what's going to end up happening if these attempts on an official's life keep happening. You know what I mean? If people keep stealing for just, oh, I want this. Because I can't afford it, I'm going to steal it. Because they want it, not something they need. Especially when there are programs out there to help people with things they need. Things like housing, things like food. There are welfare systems out there in the United States to already aid people. However, if you have a job, you can't really normally apply for it. Like I know I don't apply for it, but the whole thing is just ridiculous. Don't worry, after maybe 2 or 3 centuries, everything will be fixed. Yeah, because the mutated roaches after the nuclear fallout, everything will return to normal. That's just how it's gonna work. That's just how it's gonna work. But yeah, the thing is, it's like people just need to understand that we aren't. This is weird because I always tell people it's like you are your own unique person. Everyone is individually special, individually important, but at the same time, we aren't the main character. We're special to us, but in like 100 years, nobody will know who I am. Heck, even now, only a select few people know who I am. According to like there are 8 billion people, give or take a few million, on this planet. Less than 0.00000000001%, even less than that, have seen my face, have heard of me. And even less than that, even more than that, probably have a more negative understanding of me. It's like they don't like me. But that's the thing. You just have to look at the world that way. But everyone wants to be the main character. Everyone wants to be like, I'm going to be remembered forever. No. No, it's going to be like in Coco, where you have the guy playing the guitar and then he just fades away. Why? Everyone who lives has forgotten him. We're all going to be like that. We're all going to be forgotten. You just have to accept it. You just have to accept it. And you'll live a much happier life knowing where you're at in society, knowing your place in the world. Sure, you can put yourself higher, you can put yourself lower, but it's just like you just have to be happy with who you are. Oh my gosh. I figured out, and I told an American YouTuber, and he freaked out. Whatever history we all read in the world is wrong and lie. Well, the history is written by the victors, and right now, I mean, there are a multitude of stories that can be told. You have the victors, you have the losers, and then you have those bystanders on either side, and those who aren't even involved. Everyone has a story to tell. It's crazy.
Insulting the team. Trump is a fire.
I don't have hair. Why would I reveal it? I don't have hair. This is all I got.
Activist ratio. As after USAID lost their funding, the U.S. Agency for International Development, but after that got dismantled, what used to be mass riots on behalf of Democrat movements now barely seem to see a fraction of the activists. And even though the May Day marches in LA seem to have a decent turnout, as their parade conveniently walks past their homeless encampments, they now demand citizenship.
That's the thing. It's just like, my father went through the U.S. immigration. My wife is going through the U.S. immigration visa process. You can easily say that it is all messed up. Constant back and forth. We've had to deal with the visas, the USCIS. It's incredibly annoying. And the fact that now we're getting people who have broken the law to get here are demanding an immediate acceptance into the country when me and my wife have been struggling for years, 2 years, just to get her approval to get here. And now we're dealing with like a year of paperwork. And then on top of that, we're just going to be waiting for like 1 to 2 years for the government to make its decision. So it's like going to be 5 years in total where we're dealing with that. Yet these people, the audacity that they can come here illegally and demand to be accepted into the country makes no gosh dang sense. When my father worked hard to get here legally, and then guess what? Decided to become a citizen, a naturalized citizen. He just went through everything. It's crazy. It is so freaking crazy. It's so aggravating. Seeing people like this, the entitlement. This is what I mean, the main character syndrome. They feel like they have the plot armor to demand this stuff when they've broken the law to get here. It's so freaking crazy. So stupid.
Here to fight for non-migration. We don't need ICE here, and then we have a more protection.
I just feel it's really important for everyone to come together.
Anti-ICE activists, take a look. They've taken over the checkout counters here at this Home Depot. There are signs that say ICE out of the Home Depot.
They're so freaking racist. They are so freaking racist. Oh my gosh. Of course they go to Home Depot. Of course they go to Home Depot.
Oh, they've essentially stopped business here.
So they chose May Day to bring everybody together to protest low wages and the unaffordability of Democrat-run LA.
Who are going to these protests? Unemployed people. People that don't have a job. People that don't provide anything to society. Those are the ones going to the protests. Because they're unnecessary for society. That sounds harsh, but it's true. They aren't necessary for society to function. That they have all the time in the world. And the heads of those protest organizations are, well, they track the money that they're paid to be there.
Co-opt the left's movement of mass amnesty for illegals or flat out allow illegals to vote. It's just interesting how every single movement from May Day, saving the environment, to Roe v. Wade, it all can only be solved by handing the Democrats more power to do what they couldn't do the last time they were in power. And even though the LAPD briefly gained ground,
Some of you are on the sidewalk.
they were quickly pushed back. But when these activists tried to swarm the federal building, the feds stepped in to make arrests.
Start running him down.
And remember, May Day is supposed to be about workers' rights, but LA made it about ending ICE, granting mass amnesty, and something the Democrats have been long suspected of, illegals voting.
Local leaders pushing a proposal that would allow non-citizens to vote in LA city elections.
Introduced a motion to change the charter. That motion calls for amending the charter to allow the city council to expand voting to non-citizens for local elections like mayor and city.
This is so funny. I mean, the fact that almost everywhere in the world, guess what? They have a voting license. You have to have a license to vote. You have, even my wife she's from India. She has her license from India to vote. But the fact that the US can't even implement that, why? Because of corruption. Because when you have people that are not tracked voting in your elections, guess what? The elections are already fraudulent. If you cannot track the votes, like the effect, like what was it? The past few years, they tracked that we had the voting dead, not the walking dead, the voting dead. Crazy. It just it makes no gosh dang sense. This stuff needs to be really, really cracked down upon. Absolutely cracked down upon. It is crazy.
The council.
They pay their taxes. Many of them are homeowners, but they don't have a say over the policies that affect their children and their families on any given day.
How convenient that the thing they pretended to never want is exactly what they're openly pushing through in deep blue cities. That same thing that, if it was actually allowed, would hand the Democrats every single federal election forever. This was supposed to be about workers' wages that would be perpetually depressed if you import millions of more workers, all while ignoring their actual enemy rolling right by.
And here comes somebody to steal somebody's job. All right, next up we're gonna, oh Jesus Christ. All right, no, whatever. That's not my problem. I want to welcome to the podium next.
The sheer irony of entitled idiots skipping work on a weekday to say they deserve higher wages, watching this autonomous robot working his unpaid 24-hour workday that he will never complain about. This is like watching the dinosaurs see the first comet across their sky, as the working class is facing an extinction level event, and they're too busy being turned into useful idiots for the Democrats to realize students are already switching to classes online, having their papers graded by AI that they wrote in AI. So now is definitely not the time to take a random day off to demand higher pay and illegal voting rights. So if you appreciate my concise, light-hearted commentary on the...
I like Decoy Voice. I like Decoy Voice. He does... he likes to make humor of things that are absolutely tragic. It's absolutely tragic. It's so sad. It's so freaking sad. But I gotta say, I do like how people are starting to realize the ridiculousness of it. The thing is, I think like the online platform, again, everyone's their own main character. Everyone posts their own stories online, that they now think that it used to be like the oddities would be ridiculed in school, and then they'd isolate themselves and then become closeted people and just not really integrate with much. The problem is online has allowed a bunch of psychopaths, and I don't mean this about people's like whatever it may be. I mean, I could fall under that category, give or take. But like a bunch of psychopaths to be able to find each other online. They formed these communities online, and guess what? These people that back in the day who would have been alone and would have had to integrate themselves into civilized society in order to get a job, to have an income, to further their life, they would actually have to integrate themselves into civilized society. They have found a platform for themselves online to share their poison with each other, and then that poison starts to bleed out. It bleeds out everywhere, that everywhere else is starting to get poisonous, and they think, oh, you know, my mentality, which is 0.00000000000000000000000000000000000% of the society has a voice. All 100 of us should get together, riot, cause a scene, and you know what? Spread our poison to other people. And then other people start leaning on that. Now we have a whole generation of people that play victim or are so confused on who they are because they realized, oh, you know what? Maybe if I am a little confused, I will get further. And guess what? People always want to do what's best for themselves. Like I would always joke with my friend, you know what, dude? If we got married, we'd have so many more benefits because we'd be a gay married couple. It's tragic. It's tragic that that's how society works. It should be married couples are married couples. Doesn't matter if you're gay. Doesn't matter if you're straight. Doesn't matter if you have multiple different relationships going on. It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. Marriage is marriage. There shouldn't be, oh, because you're gay, you get special treatment. Oh, because you're confused, you get special treatment. That shouldn't be the case. But society has constantly encouraged that mentality. Just like, guess what happened to the black household? There was no stronger dynamic in like the 1950s, 1960s than the black family. There was no stronger dynamic. What happened after 1970? Well, the social welfare kicked in, and it became actually much more frugal for families for it to just be a single mom. That it became a problem for the husbands to stick around. It hit the Hispanic community, it hit the black community, it's even hit the white community. It's hit every single community, but the first one targeted was the black community. They were the first to suffer from that because they already made next to nothing. And when they realized, you know what, we can actually make more by not being married and just taking money from the government, it destroyed the family dynamic. And that's it. We're just like a lot of people don't understand that a lot of this stuff, it looks good at that given point in time. But if you look down the future, where is this going to lead to? Where is this plan right here? What we're going to do right now? What's that going to give us several years in the future? But a lot of people don't think that way. The problem is a lot of people think here and now. Just like with the whole thing going on in government, everyone wants immediate immediate results, when that's not how it works. It never works that way. No, you can't just snap your fingers and everything be fixed. Because society is so screwed up, it would take decades now. It's easy to break something. It's absolutely easy to break something, like we had an open border for 4 years. But to correct it will take years to fix. Will take years to fix. But a lot of people don't seem to understand that. A lot of people really don't seem to understand that. And we're left with a whole bunch of people that are just like, I can place an order on Amazon and get it droned to me in a few hours. Why can't the government work the same way? Why can't everything work the same way? Because it's not like that. Because it's absolutely not like that.
You guys got a video? So bad.
And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Wait on that.